General Jack Keane on all these developments and what he makes of them. General, always good to have you. We're hearing as well that French President Emmanuel Macron wants to talk with Russia to end the war in Ukraine. Even the Ukrainians don't seem to be enthusiastic of that prospect. What do you make of that?
Yeah, well, that's one of the problems we really have, Neil, is that the United States and particularly NATO countries are all over the map here in terms of really what is the objective here in supporting Ukraine. Obviously, we want to help them, but there are different objectives. And to characterize them for you and our audience, one, France and Germany, they want to go to a ceasefire now. They want negotiations, and that is absolutely not in Ukraine's interest. That leaves hundreds of thousands of Russian troops inside of Ukraine to rebuild, reorganize, and I don't believe Putin has ever given up on his aspirations to topple the Kyiv government at some point, knowing full well now it will take much longer. It could be more, greater than a year, but his objective remains the same. And then we have other countries who are all in. And by that I mean the UK every single day talks about wanting to achieve victory for Ukraine, destroy the Russian military inside of Ukraine. You got the Baltic states along with them. Poland is a huge supporter, and some other European countries as well. And I think the United States is interesting because we backed off talking about victory for Zelensky, and now what we're saying is we want an independent, sovereign Ukraine that's economically viable, but at the same time, what we intend to do is provide Ukraine with all the assistance they can get so they will have good leverage going into negotiations. Well, that's a bit different than destroy the Russian army inside Ukraine or for Zelensky to achieve a victory. And that's one of his frustrations. And those different viewpoints also drive how much assistance Ukraine is getting. Fortunate for us and the United States is the Secretary of Defense is meeting today with, I think, close to 50 countries to get their support. But even our own support, which is significant, Neil, it takes too long to make a decision because the decisions for these advanced weapons get wrapped up in, are we provoking Putin or not? Is this going to be escalatory? As opposed to having a clear objective, and then let's give them the weapons that they really need to accomplish that clear objective. So yes, there are challenges here, and we're at a tipping point. They need help now, or the Russians are going to be able to take more advantage of the Ukrainians. And the Ukrainians still have an opportunity to push back and take territory back because the Russians, Neil, they have suffered significant casualties just trying to take this one city.
You know, and they're grinding away at it here, but you mentioned about maybe some fractures within the NATO coalition, 40 some odd countries. That's to be expected, to your point. I get that, General. But if I'm Vladimir Putin, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, they're blinking. I'm not blinking, right?
No, you put your finger right on it. Many people had read Putin wrong right from the beginning because he was having trouble in the beginning, not able to accomplish his overall objective as quickly as he thought he could, that he was looking for some kind of an off or exit ramp. Not true. Putin's objectives remain the same, even though it may take longer to achieve. And the only way you stop Putin, and this ends, is by force. He's going to keep hammering and hammering and hammering. And the NATO countries that are half-stepping here, like Germany has promised these advanced weapons, significant self-propelled artillery systems. They promised them several weeks ago. They haven't delivered one of them. And so, yes, there are challenges here. And you're absolutely right. Putin is not blinking. And he's going to keep pushing forward, despite all the problems he has with his military. And listen, the Ukrainians still have significant capacity here. They have the skill, they got the will, they got the people. They just don't have all the weapon systems that they need to deal with the Russians as effectively as they should.
General, there's so much that they have to sort out, but always good having you. General Jack Keane, thank you as well, General, for your incredible service to this country. That's a whole nother very proud story. But he never talks about that, so I thought I would.